And I totally disagree, and I will prove to you that it is a wrong thing to say, but we've all been conditioned to say it. So I'm going to just say it for this time, just to see how your mindset is. How is everyone this morning?
Fantastic.
Just fine, actually.
Just fine? That's good, good.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic, great, that's a good answer. Okay, that is the question we never ask anybody. 99 out of 100 people, if you ask them how they're doing, they're not doing well. Okay? Whether it be their health, legal problems, financial problems, relationship problems, okay? All of these things. So normally there's like I said, there's barely one person out of 100 that's doing well if you ask them that question. So the mind, and we'll get into that later in the training, because the mind is a very powerful thing. Okay? I have lived my life, especially after my father, who was my best friend, died, and I pretty much don't let anything bother me, because I felt that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. So I've been pretty happy-go-lucky since. And I wasn't the nicest guy in the world back then, before my dad passed. I was kind of mean. I boxed. I used to go into bars just to find the biggest guy in there to fight him. You know, stupid stuff. Irish guy. I love to drink, especially when my dad died. I stayed drunk for quite a few years. But anyway, I know this is not an AA meeting, y'all.
My name is Krista.
You know, I believe that everything happens for a reason. But I do know that if you ask someone like me, if I come onto a car lot and you ask me how I'm doing, to answer that question, I have to really think how I'm doing. Okay, so the subconscious part of the mind is where everything is stored. Is where you've been programmed to say how are you doing to people and all that. It's your computer, it's your hard drive, your memory, your CPU, and everything. It's what controls your breathing. It tells your lungs to expand and stuff. It does your involuntary responses and everything. So, but it also is your memory bank. Okay, so when you ask me that, to answer that question, my little CPU will process over 300,000 thoughts in a microsecond. And 99% of them are all negative thoughts when you ask me that question. Because first of all, my cancer's back. I've lost 7 loved ones to cancer in the last 9 years. I really love people, and I hate to see people that are, unemployed, that have to provide for their family. Okay? So, there's a lot of things that go through my mind to answer that. So you've automatically put me in a mindset of negativity when you ask me that question. Now, yes, of course I'm going to respond, respectfully to you, and I'm going to, tell you great, and you, because I train you not to say that, and you have to condition yourself. It takes up to 28 days to get a habit. It can take up to a lifetime to break that habit. I've got 3 days with you, basically only 2. Okay, I can take you to water, but I can't make you what?
Drink.
Okay. I know that I've been doing this for 34 years, maybe a little bit over that. Been in the car business, and was always very successful. Okay, I am considered one of the nation's greatest trainers. Okay, but that's because I was always the nation's greatest salesperson. Okay, and it's not me just saying it. You can Google it and find it out. The internet's got to be right, right? If the internet says it, it's right, right? All right. So, but everything I always had going for me was my enthusiasm. Okay, no matter what the life throws at me, I have enthusiasm. Now I'm going to give you a story before we get into this right here. And this happens to be the dealership where I found this gentleman. Because here in America, we all think we got it bad. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, everything happens for a reason first. And any day you wake up breathing is a beautiful day. Negativism does not work in life, and it doesn't work in the car business. Okay? How many people in the room have a friend or a family member that every time you're around them, it's all negative? And, they're talking about this is bad, that's bad, this is bad, Okay, well, that type of person will go nowhere in life. Okay, they will make it happen. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Okay, and I don't think I can sell cars. I know I can sell cars because I know it's all about building relationships. That's all it's about. When people hit this lot, they're here to buy a car. Okay, do you think people enjoy, based on everybody thinks car salespeople are liars anyway, or con artists, right? Do you think they enjoy going to a car lot? So no, have you ever went out to McDonald's when you're real starving hungry and went through and just to look at the menu and not buy anything and drive on?
No.
Well, these people don't come to a car lot not to buy a car. Okay? They're going to buy a car. Normally, in the market days nowadays, normally within 72 hours, they're going to buy a car somewhere. The average person visits 1.2 dealerships before they buy a car. Okay? So, what I try to do is to separate you from how average salespeople. And I don't like the word salespeople because I'm not there to sell them anything. And we get into that a lot later. Okay? Because they're going to buy a car. It depends on if they like you and if they like the dealership. Okay? That's it. So the first step to a sale is the most important step to a sale. And it's called the meet and greet. You don't ever get a second chance to make a first impression. Does anybody believe you do?
Oh, no.
Okay. So that is what primarily this whole day is on, is the first step to the sale. Okay? Everything else is pretty much simple after that. It's a process. It's a process, and there's a lot of psychology in sales, as there is in life. Life is sales. We're always selling ourselves, no matter what it may be. When you can do an interview, you're selling me a reason why to hire you, or for the dealership to hire you. Okay? So, and everyone has made mistakes. We've all got skeletons in our closet. And I'm a Christian. I don't wear it on my sleeve or anything. Hopefully I don't offend anybody if you have a different religion or anything, okay? But I do try to, I'm a big believer in what they call karma. I believe if I do good things, and when I wake up and my motivation, I believe I asked everybody in the room other than you yet, because I didn't really do a formal interview. What motivates me? What motivates me is when I wake up, before I go to bed that night, I want to know that I made a difference that day, that I changed things to make it better. Okay? That's what motivates me. Okay? Not money. Of course, money's great. We love it. Okay? I love it. Okay? But that's what motivates me. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. And it's a true story. He works right here in this dealership. I never thought there was anybody that was like as enthusiastic and stuff as me. And I am here, the first time I got here, there's this gentleman that just come up, you having a great day? It's beautiful, great day. And just so enthusiastic and so positive at all times. So I went into the general manager's office, Craig Minton, who's a great car guy. And I said, Craig, this guy out here, he must sell a ton of cars. He goes, who are you talking about? I said, I think he said his name was Kemal. He says, you know his story? I said, no. He says, and by the way, yes, he is one of the top salespeople. And I said, no, but he's got to sell a lot of cars with that enthusiasm, man. He said he does. He says, but he's from Sudan. He said, but next time you talk to him, just look. You'll see a scar going from one side of his neck to the other. His mother, father, his wife, and his 4 children got slaughtered and murdered right in front of him. They cut his throat, left him there to die. Okay? We haven't made this guy. Whenever you start thinking that, oh, God, it's all, this is going wrong, everybody in the room looks like they're fed decent. You're getting fed, okay? You're clothed. But there's places out there that you just cannot fathom the mayhem that's going on, okay? So whenever you start to think negative and get a negative thought, think about Kemal, seriously, okay? Because negativism does nothing but breed and starts to create a plague, okay? Enthusiasm has the same effect, but it's a positive effect, okay? It will breed. And I guarantee you, I would take, if I was doing a business venture, and I had someone playing that wanted to be my partner, and they had a master's PhD from Harvard, but had a kind of a negative outlook or negative attitude, okay? And if I had someone who just had a GED or didn't even have a GED, okay, but was very positive and optimistic, and I could hold a conversation with them at least, okay, I would take that person probably as my business partner as a Harvard doctor guy, okay, or gal. That's me, because I know that person, there's actually one of my students put a quote on Facebook. Let me see if I can find that real quick. That Steve Jobs, and we just watched that, me and Vince watched that movie. Everybody know Vince?
I haven't.
Hello.
He's Italian, but don't hold that against him. He's got part Irish in him too, so that makes him all good. Where's my Facebook? Oh, here, wait. This is our commercial. Hold on. For my company. Hold on. That's the art of sales is what that. We're working on the emblem a little bit better. I need to find a good artist, but because he don't have the T in there and all it, oh yeah. Okay, now I want to just give you an example of what I'm saying. Anybody seen the movie Jobs?
No.
Well, first of all, I'll show you a little bit where I get my reward. Here's a salesperson that was in my class about 2 weeks ago that I put over in Hutchinson, Kansas at the Midwest Superstore. Annabelle is her name. And she put on my wall, sold my first vehicle today. You were right. It was freaking great. Thanks for showing me the path. Nothing but love for you. But she's, if you look at her Facebook now, she had never sold cars in her life, but she's all about cars now. And here's what she wrote. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits. This is a quote by Steve Jobs, just so you know. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. Okay, that's a great quote by Steve Jobs.